The NCAA Men's Division I Lacrosse Semifinals featured two of the top 4 teams in the country, as well as 2 of the traditional powers in men's lacrosse. And after 2 thrilling one-goal games, you can say the semifinals did not disappoint. The Denver Pioneers and the Maryland Terrapins advanced to the national championship game on Monday here at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, after the Pioneers and the Terrapins coming away with 1-goal victories in the semifinals. The number 4 seed, the Pioneers, defeating the number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, by a score of 11-10 in overtime. It was a nip-and-tuck affair for the first 3 quarters, but in the 4th quarter, the Pios opened it up. They had a 10-6 lead with just under 5 minutes to go in the contest, and that's when the Sergio Perkovic show started for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. The midfielder scored 3 goals in a span of 1 minute and 35 seconds to cut Denver's lead to 10-9. Then another midfielder, Nick Ocello, scored the game-tying goal with 9 seconds to go in regulation to send the game into overtime, but then the Pioneers relied on their Canadian connection. Tyler Pace and Wesley Berg, the midfielder, setting up the attackman Berg, who fired home the game winner with 2 minutes and 3 seconds to go in the overtime, sending Denver to its first ever national championship appearance. They will take on the Maryland Terrapins, who will be playing in their 12th national championship game after the Terrapins defeated the Johns Hopkins Blue Jays by a score of 12-11. The Terrapins also had to withstand a comeback attempt. Maryland was up by a score of 10-5 late in the 3rd, and going into the 4th quarter, they were up by a score of 10-7. But 3 quick goals by the Blue Jays tied the game at 10, and then Maryland's attackman Matt Rambo scored 2 quick goals midway through the 4th quarter to give the Maryland Terrapins a 12-10 lead. They were able to hold off the Johns Hopkins Blue Jays. One big save by Kyle Bernlohr, the goalkeeper, late in the ball game with about 8 seconds to go to keep the Maryland Terrapins ahead and winning the ball game by 1. And after the game, I talked with one of the Maryland midfielders, their face-off specialist, Charlie Raffa. He won 14 of 26 face-offs in the contest, and he also scored a goal, his first goal of the 2015 season. And I asked him to begin our conversation, was the win against Johns Hopkins more gratifying, even more gratifying, given the fact that Johns Hopkins defeated the Maryland Terrapins just a month ago?
You know, it's great to take that next step, but, you know, you just got to keep plugging away, because, you know, even my freshman year, we got to the national championship game, didn't close it out, and it's pretty disappointing. You know, my last year, I kind of want to get that, so hopefully the rest of these guys will recoup and get back together on Monday and get the win.
You had a pretty good game at the face-off Fex, 14 of 26, but then at the same time, you score your first goal of the season, so that's to be a cherry on top of a Sunday today, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. You know, goal was huge. It was a momentum boost for our team. You know, I just try to do what I can, and, you know, we also know when to pull it out and get that offensive ball, because, you know what, those guys handle it all week, so you want to get them the ball as much as possible.
During the season, you had the 11-game win streak after you started 1-1. You were up to number 2 in the nation. A lot of pundits may have thought that you were the best team in the nation at that point, and then you run into Johns Hopkins at home and you lose that game. What was the biggest difference between that matchup just over a month ago and then this matchup against Johns Hopkins?
You know, just experience. We played them once. You know, we didn't prepare very well, you know, to be honest, and just getting together and, you know, getting on the same page, communicating, game planning, preparing. You know, we came to this game ready to go, and it showed today.
What were you better prepared for specifically against the Blue Jays today?
You know, shutting down Ryan Brown, he put up 8 goals against us, which is great in any sport. So, the fact he was able to do that, he's an awesome player, and wish him the best. We were able to close him out, and I don't know how many goals he had today, but hopefully I don't think it was 8.
Did you feel the revenge or rivalry factor as you were playing, or were you too concerned about winning and being in the national semifinals? Could you feel that Johns Hopkins-Maryland rivalry while playing today?
You know, not really. We just kind of look at this thing like a semifinal game, and you know, you win, you keep going, you lose, you go home, and you know, for these guys, this is all we have left. So for us seniors, and that's more of how we looked at it, more than just Maryland Hopkins.
I mentioned the 11-game winning streak. You lose to Hopkins, you have that loss to Ohio State in the Big Ten semifinals, and then in the tournament, the first round, you have the game against Yale where the Bulldogs are the width of the crossbar away from sending it into overtime. Did the win against North Carolina and the way you did it in emphatic fashion, did that get you into a groove going into the semifinals?
You know, I think I mean, you could say that offensively, but moreover, I think it was just a great team effort and just being on the same page because, you know, North Carolina was North Carolina. We just try to move on from that as fast as possible and get ready for Hopkins, and that's kind of what we did today. And we just want to prepare and game plan and get ready for them and not think about the past.
Third time in 5 years you're in the national championship, the Maryland Terrapins. You had to leave last year's game in the second half. After all that you had to go through in your Maryland career with injuries, with coming so close to the national title, how much would it mean to you personally to be able to finish the job on Monday against Denver?
You know, it's huge, and like you said, I have gone through a substantial amount of injuries, and I mean everything, you know. I mean everything to me. I mean everything to all of these guys who put in the hard work and stayed after, worked extra. Even the freshmen, you have guys staying over all the time, and it's awesome. You know that they want to get better. You know that they want to win. Just knowing that they're on our side and showing our leadership is huge.
So the Maryland Terrapins will be making their 12th appearance in the national championship game, and in that game on Monday, they'll be looking to rewrite a pretty horrid history in national championship games. In the previous 11 appearances in the national championship, the Maryland Terrapins are 2-9. Their last championship came all the way back in 1975. The Terrapins have lost their last 7 appearances in the national championship game, the last coming in 2012 against the Loyola Greyhounds. Now, the Denver Pioneers, they'll be looking to win their first ever national championship and do it in their first try on the national championship stage. So stay tuned to a lot of sports talk and a lot of sportstalk.com, where we will have a feature article featuring the Denver Pioneers and the East Coast influence on the lacrosse team. The Denver Pioneers all the way out west, looking to bring the lacrosse national championship out west when Denver and Maryland play here on Monday, 1 o'clock for the national championship. From Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, my name is Adeshina Koike for a lot of sportstalk.com.